From removing this green screen to bringing different objects without changing their size, to bringing objects with changing their size, to adding this particular glitch effect, we will see it all and more in this particular video. It doesn't matter whether you are someone who doesn't know about Final Cut Pro at all or someone who has certain clue about Final Cut Pro. We will see it all right from the beginning till the very end, and I will make sure to keep things simple so you get to that pro stage by the end of this video. Just save this video if you want to relearn the lessons that you are getting today. Since all the big things out there start really small, so we will also start really small by just creating a project and showing you how you can start a project on Final Cut Pro. For this, just simply open up your Final Cut Pro, and this is the kind of a screen that you will be seeing after opening it up. Now all you have to do is just click on this option of file at the top, then click on this option of new, and here you get this particular option of library. Now click on this library option, and here you get to change the name of your library so you can find it out quite easily after you create it. Now I will simply name it as sample for now, and right below it you will be able to find this option where you can save this particular file that you are creating right now. Then simply click on this option of save, and this way your library will be created. Now we can create different projects in this particular library in order to start working on a particular project. For starting a new project, simply click on this option of file, then click on new, and here you get the option of project. And now you can notice that earlier this option was not available for us since there was no library. Now we have the project option as well as event option, but we need to create a project. The shortcut option is Command N in order to create a project. It would be better if you have a piece of paper and a pen with you in order to write all these shortcuts, so it will be quite handy for you whenever you start editing different projects, as using these shortcuts will save a good amount of time. So Command N is the shortcut for starting a new project, and this is how it will appear. Now we can name this particular project over here. We will simply name it as sample, and here we can select the video type. Now here you can select whether you want the 4K or the other options, but this will make a huge difference on the size of the project. If you are struggling with the storage capacity of your device already, then make sure that you select the option of 1080p HD. It is a good option for good quality as well as saving some space. But if you are still struggling further, then go with 720p. If you have no storage issues, then you can go with the 4K. Moreover, most of the social media platforms out there prefer 4K quality in order to promote any particular content out there. So just select it accordingly. Also, this is the time when we decide whether we are going for the long form content or the reels or shorts. So if you are editing a reel, then you would have to select the option of custom at the bottom, and here in the resolution we will just switch it up to 1080 and 1920, and just keep everything else on default. And this way you would be able to create a project for the reel. But for now we will just simply select the normal one, and we are looking to edit a long form content using this particular project. Simply click on OK after that, and here we got our timeline. Here it is a magnetic timeline that you are seeing in the dark one, and it holds everything together whenever we add some stuff to it. Now we can add different layers to this particular timeline. Let me show you how you can do it. Just simply drag and drop everything that you are looking to add into your timeline like this. Suppose I want to add this particular audio and also this particular image. We can add the videos as well. And this is how easy it is to add layers. Now you can add different layers as well. If you want to duplicate any particular layer, simply press Option on your keyboard and select that particular layer and just move it around in order to duplicate it. As simple as that. If you want to delete it, simply select any particular layer and click on delete, and it will be deleted. Now here you can see different gaps in the audio that we need to remove in order to make this audio smooth. For precise editing, we will zoom into our timeline, and for that the shortcut is Command plus. Simply press Command plus and also write it down on your piece of paper, and this is how you would be able to zoom in. Now press B on your keyboard and you would be able to see this scissor. Just simply take it wherever you want a cut, and this is how you would be able to make a cut. Now we can make one more cut over here, and just press the button on your mouse in order to make the cut. Now press A in order to get back to normal state of your cursor, and you would be getting this cursor. Simply select and click on delete. And this is how you would be able to remove the pauses in the audio of any particular file that you are editing. Quite easy. And I hope you also noticed the magic of this magnetic timeline. As soon as I removed that particular unwanted section, it moved rest of the timeline on its own. Let me show you once again. So this was the pause and I deleted it, and all the stuff that was right after this particular pause came to the forward and stuck to the forward part of it. Now if you do the same thing with this particular object over here, pressing B and B, and if we delete this particular part, no, it won't bring this particular part over here on its own, because only the middle one is the magnetic one and not rest of the other layers. So you can utilize the magnetic timeline according to your own advantage, and after working for a while you will get used to it. Now let's remove some other parts on this particular audio as well. For this, just simply press B and B here again, and just simply click delete after selecting it. This is how easy it is. Now we know how we can create a new project and how we can add different stuff on our timeline, and also we learned about the magical or the magnetic timeline. Now let's move on and learn some more basic stuff before moving forward to the advanced stuff. For this, I will just simply select this particular project over here, and in order to open up different projects, simply open them up and all these projects will list on the left hand side panel. And here you can simply click on this particular option of projects and then double click over here in order to open up that particular project. And this is how easy it is to open up different projects. Now let's learn some more stuff about the timeline before moving forward with the other stuff. Now here you are able to see that I'm able to go around different parts of my timeline and check out whatever is going on in that particular project. This might not be available for some of you out there. If it is not, simply click on this portion over here or press S on your keyboard. I hope you are taking the notes, and this way you would be able to turn on this particular option. Currently I turned it off by pressing S, and you can see that even after moving my cursor over here, I'm not able to see anything on my timeline. But as soon as I press S, I can see different parts of my timeline. This is how easy it is. Now let me show you one more way to make things easier for you, and it is the snapping option. Here when I press N, I just simply turned it off by pressing N, but let me show you the use of this particular option. Now here you can see that on this timeline, let me zoom in so you can see it more properly. And in order to zoom in, you just have to press Command plus, and if you want to zoom out, simply press Command minus, and this way you would be able to zoom in and out quite easily. But for now, let's zoom in, and here you can see that this particular layer has been matched with the cut over here. Now if I turn off the snapping tool, I will not be able to match it quite easily. It is going through quite easily and smoothly. But if I turn on the snapping tool, which is by pressing N, when I do this again, it will stop me right at the cut. And this helps in editing, in precise editing to be precise, and this will make things easier for you in order to match different layers on your timeline. So simply turn on the snapping and skimming on your timeline in order to make things easier for you, and the shortcuts are S and N. Now let's see how you can do voiceovers on your Final Cut Pro itself. For this, you will be able to find this option of window at the top. Simply click on it. Then here you get the option to record voiceover. Click on it. Now here you can simply name the project and select the settings accordingly, and after that click on this option of input, and you would be able to record the audio on your Final Cut Pro itself. And this is how easy it is. Now let's move on and check out how we can add text on Final Cut Pro and add animations to it quite easily. And also we will explore this right hand side panel on Final Cut Pro. So let me get back to the previous project, so you only focus on the text for now. And here it is. Now in order to add text, just press Ctrl T and a basic text will be added, and this is the text that will appear with Ctrl T, and you can make changes to it, like right over here, text, And if you want to change the font and the size, simply select the option of font over here, move around in order to see which one that is looking familiar to you or better to you. Simply select that particular text, play with the size that you are looking to add. You can check out the alignment and other options as well. If you want to spread out the text, simply select this option of tracking in order to do it. And also when we move forward, we can see some other options as well. You can set the position of your text from here. There are two options to add the position to your text. The easier one that I find is this particular option. Here you can find the option of transform. Simply click on it. Now you can move around this particular text wherever you want, and you can also play around with the size of this particular text quite easily. And this is how easy it is to move around text in Final Cut Pro. If you want to rotate it, then simply take your cursor on this particular option, then rotate it quite easily. And this is how you do it. You can also rotate your text from the right hand side panel, and on the rotation you can see whether you want to rotate it on the x-axis, y-axis or z-axis. Simply click over here and use your mouse in order to rotate it. And this is how easy it is, and you would be able to give a 3D texture to your text quite easily. And when we move further, we can see some more options, and here we get the option of 3D text as well in case if you want to use it. And the text will become 3D as soon as we select the 3D option. If you want to change the color of this particular text, simply select the option of face, then click on show, and here we can click on the color palette and select the colors. If you are looking to go with the other options, here are many options available to you that you can utilize. I will use this option in order to make changes. If you want to pick color of something else, for that simply select this dropper and move it around on your timeline and select the color of your choice. Suppose I want this color on the text, I will select it, and as soon as I select it, I can see the color changing on the text. And this is how easy it is. If I want to add shadow or some outline around it, I will simply select this option of outline and then select the color of it as well. Now you can play around with the width and the blur ratio, and this is how you would be able to add text and make changes to it, the color, the size and all sort of details. But you won't be able to add much animations to this particular text. In order to add animations to any particular text and make things easier for you, we have a different option. For this, you will have to select this particular option at the top left hand side corner of text, and here under the tiles section, simply type custom, and here you get the option of custom. Simply drag and drop it on your timeline, and you can see it is quite similar to the text that we brought earlier to our timeline by pressing the shortcut of Ctrl T, but it is a different one, and I will show you exactly why it is different. Now first, let's make some changes to it quite fast so it doesn't waste any more time of yours. Let's increase its size, and here let's change its color to something different, and also let's add an outline to it. You can add a glowing to it if you want to select this particular option of glow, and also you can drop a shadow of it. We have already seen how we can do it all. Now let's move further with the animations. For this, at the top right hand side corner, here you can see this option of T. Simply click on it. Now here you get all the different options that were not available with the earlier text. Let me show you, and select this particular text over here. In the T option, you won't be able to find the parameters that are available with the custom text that we just added. Let me select this custom one, and here you can see all the different parameters. Now using these parameters, we can add different animations. Let me show you how we can do that. Suppose we want to add the animation at the beginning when the text appears, and we want this particular text to appear from the left hand side. For that, we will have to play around with the x-axis, and on the x-axis we will just simply type -100, and you can see this text is coming over here, and in the beginning when we select the beginning part of it, the T is still visible, so we will type minus 110 instead of 100, but the T is still visible, so we will type 115, and now T is not visible. And this is how the text will appear with the animation when it appears for the first time in the beginning. And this is how you do it. Now it is coming with one single character, and we want all the text to appear in one go from the left hand side. For this, we will select the option of in unit size, and here we will select the option of all. Now the whole text will appear from the left hand side, and this is how you can add animations. And this is just a simple example of adding animations to text. Now if you want this particular text to appear from the top and drop down at the bottom, then we can do that as well. For that, you will have to make changes on the y-axis for this. So we will keep the x-axis 0, and we will go with the 100 on the y-axis. Now the text will drop from the upper side, and this is how you would be able to make changes. Now if we add some sound effect to it, it will be more realistic. By the way, we can also select the duration of the text coming in at the beginning. For this, select the option of in duration, and if we reduce it to like 20, it will take half the amount of time in order to appear, and it will be a little faster. So this is how you can make animations to your text, and you can play around with rest of the settings as well according to your needs and requirements. And when we scroll down further, here we can see the out position and out scale, which is basically how you want your text to disappear. Suppose I want my text to disappear by reducing its size, and also I want all the characters going in one go. So after selecting this is how it will appear. So this is how we add text and add animations to it. Now let's see some more options related to text. For this, we will select this option of right panel, and here we can see the option of opacity, and if we reduce it, the background layer will be more visible as compared to this particular text. Let me put this text on a particular background layer, and suppose it is there, this another text is also here, and I want to hide it while working so I can focus on some other layers. For this, the shortcut is V, and when we press V, the text will disappear, the other one that I'm not working on. When we press V again, it will appear. It basically hides the text so we can work on other stuff and layers. By the way, we can use this particular option as well in order to create an effect, and I will show you in a while what effect we can create using V. But first, let's talk about opacity. So now you can see over here, as I reduce the opacity, the text is getting almost invisible, and this way if you want to utilize this, you can do that as well. I can just simply resize it over here and put it right here. So this will not take all the highlight. In some cases we do require the opacity to get down so we can highlight some other parts of our editing. Now let's see the effect that we can create using V. For this, let me increase the opacity to 100, and this is the text. Let me zoom in with Command plus. I hope you are taking all these notes so you can use them quite easily while doing your edits. Let me remove the initial animations. So here you can see this particular text, and you can see no animation on this particular effect. So for this effect, we will just simply move our frames by using our arrow keys left and right. So we will use the right one. Let's move 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, and after that just press B and put a cut on this particular text. After that, let's go 5 frames forward again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's put a cut over here as well, and let's do it some more times. Let's do it again, but keep these cuts even so this effect works out. Now let's make our cursor normal by pressing A, and let's select the alternative of these cuts and press V. Let's press V again, and now let's check out this particular effect that we just created using V. And this looks great. If we add some sound to it, it will look even better, and these small edits make a huge impact on overall editing. Now let's see how we can highlight any particular text on Final Cut Pro. For this, we will just simply select this option of T at the left hand side corner, and here select the option of solids. Then select the option of custom, and it will bring the black color by default. Let's resize it. We know exactly how we can resize different stuff. And suppose I want to highlight beginners in this particular text. So I will simply put this particular layer that we just brought from the solids, cover the beginners option, and let's change the color to bright yellow. And after that, we will select this option and then click on the option of blend mode over here. It is currently normal. We'll just simply click on it and then select the option of darken. And this is how it will appear. You can see that it is currently highlighted. Now it is just appearing over here out of the blue, and we can add some animations to it in order to make it look better when it appears. For this, we will just have to select the layer which is the bright yellow one, which is highlighted. Let's move it around a little bit so it is highlighted properly. And now begins the chapter of keyframing. You will learn exactly how you can animate different stuffs using keyframing quite easily. Now we will select it over here, then select the transform option. When we click on the drop down right beside transform, you can see different options, which is to crop, distort and other stuff. Let's select the option of crop, and here we will select the option of cropping and remove this particular highlight that we just selected. You can see that it is removed completely. Now you might be wondering why just we removed it. We want to highlight the beginners, but let's see why we are doing so. So currently it is not there, but it is there. We know that it is there on the timeline, but for the viewer it is not there. Now when we move it forward and make it appear for the viewer as well, but either it disappears or reappears, there is no animation in between. Now in order to add animation, we need keyframes. Keyframes basically show us the starting position and the end position and all the stuff that is happening in between as well. So when we remove it completely, we are on the starting frame of this particular layer on our timeline. Now we can click on this particular option of plus at the top, and it will add a keyframe to this particular layer. And these keyframes can be added on any particular layer at different time intervals according to our needs and requirements. So in this particular frame, we don't want the viewer to see the highlight. And as we talk about the highlighting in our video, we want it to appear gradually. Now we will just move forward with the frames. Let's go ahead with 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move it to 10 so it moves slowly and it will look even better. 5 more, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all you have to do is just press arrow key in order to move the frames. Now after that, over here, what we will do is just get it back to its normal position, which is the highlight. And this way, just one click on this particular plus icon will add animations to it, and this is how keyframes will work. Let me show you the after results. And here you can see how it appeared. This is how you can highlight different stuff, and if we add sound effect to it, it will be killer. Let me show you some more examples of keyframing and how you can utilize it. For this, let me open up my another project. And here you can see this particular image, how it appears. You can see the objects, how the chips packet was going back and putting forward the stuff in it. You can do it all just using the keyframes appropriately, and let me show you the background of it. Let me select it and let's move it frame by frame. this is how it will appear, and it is going backward, and it is revealing this particular item right below it. So in order to reveal this particular item which is right below it, I just put this particular layer, let me hide it using V, and you can see it appears this particular layer behind it, and it will be visible to the audience, but when I reveal the layer which is right above it, it won't be shown. So this is how it will appear for the people who are watching it up. And also this particular stuff which got out of the chips packet is actually not in the chips packet. We are actually making people see that it is in the chips packet, but on the timeline it is just behind that particular chips packet and not inside it. And this is how you can play around with your creativity and make things appear for the audience out there. Let's move back to our earlier project in order to show you some more ways to use keyframes. So let me select this particular image. We don't currently have the keyframing on this particular image. Suppose I want this particular image to come from the left hand side to the main screen and then stop here for a while, then go back to the right hand side. Now in order to do this, we will first have to get it behind it, and we can also use this particular option over here in order to reduce the size and actually work precisely with this editing. So just select it, then add keyframes, but first we will have to make sure that we are on the first frame of this particular layer. So let's select it, then add the keyframe, and let's move forward around some frames, and then let's take it over here. Now let it remain over here for the most of the part of this particular video, and then at the end, when we want it to go back to the right hand side, we will add one more keyframe over here. And now let's move forward the frames, and at the last frame we will just simply move it forward and click on done, and let's see the results. It appeared, it remained over here for most of the part, and it went to the right side. And this is how the keyframing will work in Final Cut Pro. Now going forward, we will learn how to remove green screen, how we can add transitions and effects, how we can add a glitch effect, and how we can do sound designing. And let's start with it already. Now in order to remove green screen, all we need is just one simple effect, and it will be removed quite easily. You can see the current background of mine, it is the magic of green screen as well. Let me bring green screen, artificial one. It removes basically the green color, and after bringing in, I will select the option of the effects over here, then search for Keyer, K-E-Y-E-R. Just simply drag and drop it on top of the layer, and it will remove the green screen. Here you can see the option of effects here. As soon as I disable this particular effect of Keyer, the green screen will be visible to you, but when I select it again or activate it again, you can see that it is removed. Let me show you by just putting it on a certain part so you can see exactly how it is getting removed. So suppose it is there. Now as soon as I turn it on, the green screen is removed. So this is what the Keyer do to any particular green screen out there. And not just green screen, it can remove any particular color out there. Now suppose I want to remove the green color of this text, then for that I will just simply drag and drop Keyer over here, and after that it can be removed. But there is one more way. What if the text color was different? For that I will have to select the option of sample color over here, then just move it or select the option of text here, and all the green color stuff which is visible on this particular layer, it will be removed quite easily. Let me select some more color as well. If I select this golden one, it will remove from my skin as well on this layer, and wherever it will detect that particular color on this particular slide, it will be removed. Now there is one more way we can remove stuff and show the back layer to the viewer. For this we can use the masking option as well. Now let me show you how we can do that. Let me bring this particular text so you can see it is currently in the front one. Let me get it backward. You cannot see it now. Let me bring it in the center. So you cannot see this particular text properly. Now what we can use is simply type the option of mask or draw mask here, and then drag and drop this particular option on the layer, and here we can draw the mask and click on invert, and now you can see that the text is there. Though the text is the behind layer of this main layer, we are still able to see this particular text because we used draw mask. We can use it in creative ways as well, but I just showed you how you can use this particular option as well. There are hundreds of different options available to you in this effects option over here on Final Cut Pro that you can utilize in different creative ways. Now let's see how we can add transitions for smooth editing. For this, select the option of transition panel at the bottom, and here you get to see different transitions that you can use between the layers. Suppose I put this one on top of this layer. You can see now this is how it will appear. Without transition, it would look like this. It is going without any transition. Let me show you once again with transition. You can see a little glitchy effect. It makes a huge difference, all these transitions, when used properly. Let me show you the completed file of mine where I have used the transitions, like this one. For the cuts, this one. And we can add the sound effects in order to make these transitions look even better. Now let's see how we can add the glitchy effect. For this, just simply search for glitch on the transitions, and here you can find this option of TV glitch and simply drag and drop it, and this is how it will appear. Now we can add the sound effect in order to make it even better. Now comes the last part of this particular tutorial, that is sound designing. For this, you will have to download different sounds. If you have paid websites, then you can download it from there, and if you want to go with the free versions, then you can use YouTube's free library, or you can go with the Pixabay as well. On Pixabay, you can get the sound effects, but it is not reliable, as sometimes you get the copyright strikes. So be careful while using the background music from Pixabay. Also, you get the sound effects on Final Cut Pro. For this, select the option of sound here, then click on sound effects, and here you can type any word and you can find out different sound effects. There are plenty of sound effects that you can utilize on Final Cut Pro, and you can also download these sound effects on the internet as well from the websites like Pixabay. And let me show you how the sound designing works. So this is the main audio of this video. Now you can see one more sound effect, which is the background music is there, and there are additional sound effects in order to enhance the experience. So you can add different layers of sound effects and music in order to make the videos look even better. Here I added the camera effect on this particular effect. You can add whooshes, the risers, and the mouse clicks and camera snaps and all sort of different sounds which is soothing to our human ears. And the better the sound designing is, the better the experience of the user will be. And on that basis, you will be able to make better edits. Now after editing comes the most crucial part, which is exporting our video so we can share it up with our clients, with our social medias, and show the hard work that we put in. So for that, make sure that your video has rendered properly, and this way it will make sure that all the effects that you applied while editing are actually there for the viewer as well. So make sure that it is completed, and you can check out the rendering here as well. If the rendering is 100%, it won't move again. And in case if the automatic rendering is off on your Final Cut Pro, then you can click on this option of modify, and here you can select the option of render all in order to render it. Though most of the Final Cut Pros out there by default render it automatically, and you won't require to click on this option at all. So when the rendering is complete, you can see that there is a tick mark here. And after that, you can click on this option of export at the top right hand side corner. Now click on the option of export file, and here on the settings you can make changes. If you want just the audio or just the video, you can select it accordingly. For now we want the audio and the video as well, and click on next. Now here type the name that you want to use in order to save your final file, and after that click on this option of save, and after waiting for a while you will be able to get the final product of yours that you have been working on. And this is how you edit videos on Final Cut Pro. And if you want to understand something specific about Final Cut Pro, you can comment down below. And if you found this video to be helpful, then hit that like button and also subscribe to our channel for more such helpful videos. See you in the next video.